Mark always thought he and Sarah had the perfect marriage. 10 years, 2 beautiful kids, and a home filled with laughter. Or so he thought. The first crack in his perfect world appeared subtly. Sarah started guarding her phone like it was a state secret. It was always face down, always silenced, always with her. At first he brushed it off. Maybe she was planning a surprise for him, or just getting into some new mobile game. He trusted her. Why wouldn't he? But then other things started adding up. Late nights at the office became more frequent. Business trips that popped up with no notice. When he'd ask about her day, her answers became vague, just a series of fine and the usual. The warmth that once defined their conversations was replaced by a polite, almost clinical distance. He felt a chill creeping into their home, a space that once felt so safe and warm. He tried to talk to her, to ask if something was wrong, but she'd just smile, peck him on the cheek, and say he was being silly. She'd tell him he was imagining things, that he was just stressed from work. He wanted to believe her, he really did. But the gnawing feeling in his gut, that primal instinct that something was deeply wrong, just wouldn't go away. The breaking point came on a lazy Sunday afternoon. The kids were at their grandparents', and the house was quiet. Sarah was in the shower, and her phone, for the first time in months, was left on the bedside table. It buzzed with a notification. Mark glanced over. It was a message from a name he didn't recognize, Alex. The message simply said, "Last night was incredible. Can't stop thinking about you." Mark's heart felt like it had dropped into his stomach. His hands started to shake. This had to be a mistake, a misunderstanding. Maybe Alex was a woman, a new friend from her work. He was spiraling, trying to find any rational explanation other than the one that was screaming in his mind. With trembling fingers, he picked up the phone. He didn't know her password. He tried their anniversary, her birthday, the kids' birthdays. Nothing then, a long shot. He typed in the name of the little beachfront cafe where he had proposed to her all those years ago. The phone unlocked. A bitter wave of irony washed over him. The screen opened to her home page, clean and organized. He scrolled through her messages. The thread with Alex had been deleted. Of course, his heart sank further. He felt like a trespasser, a spy in his own home, but he couldn't stop. He had to know the truth. He started searching through her apps, social media, emails, everything looked normal. He was about to give up, to put the phone down, and try to convince himself he was crazy. But then he saw it, tucked away in a utility folder, an app he'd never seen before. It was disguised as a calculator. His tech-savvy younger brother had once shown him an app just like this. You type in a secret code, and it opens a hidden vault. His blood ran cold. Taking a deep breath, he opened the calculator app. He typed in the same password he'd used to unlock the phone. The calculator interface vanished, and a hidden folder appeared on the screen. The folder was titled, My Real Life. His breath hitched. He tapped it open, and his world shattered. It was a gallery, hundreds of photos and videos. Sarah and a man he'd never seen before, kissing in a park, holding hands in a restaurant that Mark recognized, a place he and Sarah used to go for special occasions. There were pictures of them on a beach, the same beach from a business trip she took 2 months ago. The man, presumably Alex, was laughing, and Sarah was looking at him with a light in her eyes that Mark had unseen directed at him in years. The intimacy, the casual affection in every photo was like a physical blow. He scrolled further, his hands numb. He found videos, short clips of them cooking together in an unfamiliar kitchen, whispering and laughing. A video of them dancing slowly in a dimly lit room, her head resting on his chest. It was a complete, parallel life, a life she had carefully constructed and hidden from him. Each photo, each video clip, was a stab in the heart. He saw screenshots of their text conversations filled with I love yous and plans for a future together. They talked about him. They called him the obstacle. They discussed how and when Sarah would finally leave him. Reading their words, he felt a rage building beneath the pain, a hot, blinding anger. She hadn't just cheated, she had plotted the demolition of their family, while smiling in his face every single day. He heard the water shut off in the bathroom. He quickly closed the app, locked the phone, and placed it exactly where he had found it. He sat on the edge of the bed, his mind a whirlwind of betrayal and heartbreak. When Sarah walked out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel, humming a cheerful tune, she looked at him, and her smile faltered. "Mark, are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." He just stared at her. The woman he thought he knew, the woman who was now a complete stranger to him. The images from the hidden folder were burned into his mind. He couldn't unsee them. He stood up, his voice steady but cold. "We need to talk, Sarah." He didn't raise his voice. He didn't have to. The look in his eyes told her everything. He saw the flicker of panic in her expression, the quick darting glance toward her phone. She knew. She knew he knew. The charade was over. The perfect marriage was a lie, and the truth, hidden in a secret folder, had finally come to light. He didn't know what the future held, how he would even begin to explain this to their children, or how to piece his own broken heart back together. But in that moment, one thing was crystal clear. His life, the one he had painstakingly built with her, was over. The silence in the room was deafening, filled with all the words that were never said and all the secrets that were finally revealed. A new, uncertain chapter was beginning, born from the ashes of a devastating betrayal. Thank you so much for watching. If you've ever been through a difficult time in a relationship, know that you are not alone, and healing is possible. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more stories. We'll see you in the next one.